And a good Saturday, everybody. My name is Jewel. This is a tropical update on our system we have down around the Bahamas and the eastern coast of Florida. The winds in this right now, which of course is called Invest 90L, the winds are around 30 miles per hour. Now, the pressure is 1,012 millibars. If you're tracking it, it's located at 25.8 north, 79.6 west. And the radius of the maximum winds reach out to 120 nautical miles. Now, there's two different scenarios that could play out with this. So, we're going to check them out. Now, these tracks are around the 12Z run for today, and these tracks that you see are a combination of the global and all of the hurricane models, the global hurricane models, okay? As we look, we see some having it come right around the coast here a little further inland, while some of them have it going out. And that's because, I just told you, we really need to watch this in eastern North Carolina. It may come up a little closer, it may not, and I'm going to show you why. It's still not named yet. I think it may get a name sometime late tonight or tomorrow sometime. It may become Arthur at that time. Two different scenarios I'm talking about. Alright, this is the European model, and you can see the timestamp. This is around 8 o'clock Monday morning. It's right down in here. Now we have this high pressure, or not high pressure, but low pressure, and this is going to be a little cool down, a cold front that's going to push across. It's going to depend on if this stays as it is and doesn't jiggle up any, okay? If it doesn't move up any. If it does, when you look at the GFS map, we'll turn it on right quick. You can see it's a little closer inland here. And then we'll move up to around 1 o'clock, Monday afternoon, lunchtime. This is the GFS model. You can see we're getting lots of rain in eastern North Carolina and the Outer Banks. And this system hasn't pushed across yet. Now let's go look at the European model. And let's see what it's looking like. You can see it's still out here, but it's still got this downward approach moving to Atlanta across Tennessee. And you can tell it's further offshore. This is what we're going to have to watch. Looks like Virginia Beach and Norfolk, you guys, getting some good rain out of this. I do not think it's going to be a really bad storm, but however, if when it comes to North Carolina in these areas, I think with the combination of these two put together, and we'll go over here, and you'll see the GFS. You see we get lots more rain. I've done a few formulas on this. I'm thinking if you live anywhere east of Highway 17, you can expect 1 to 2 inches of rain, maybe 3, but I'm saying 1 to 2 with the possibility of 3. You should have sustained winds probably of around 30 to 40 miles per hour. Could have some wind gusts of 50 miles per hour. And a little bit of storm surge at 1 to 2 feet of storm surge. This is for east of Highway 17. Now, if you live west of Highway 17, 1 to 1.5 inches of rain. Your winds, no gust at all. They're just going to be very minimal, just be breezy at around 15 to 25 miles per hour. That's if you're west of Highway 17. If you're east of Highway 17, Inner Banks and Outer Banks, right where I live. This is where you can get more of it. 30 to 40 mile per hour sustained winds, possibly some 50 mile per hour wind gusts, 1, 2, 3 inches of rain's looking like, with maybe a 1 to 2 foot storm surge. So we're going to have to wait and see if this system moves at a good rate, doesn't move northward any, and pushes it on out. The GFS model doesn't have it moving as fast as the European model. Still, it's going to be offshore. Still, there'll be some wind gusts. We'll check the wind on the European model here. I don't think it'll be that great. No, it's not. No big deal at all for the wind. The rain's not that bad in it either at this time for sustained winds. We'll look at the wind gust. And let's see, on the European model, 48 mile per hour wind gust. So see, when I did my formulas, put it all together, this is what it's looking like in general if you live east of Highway 17 and west of Highway 17, when you combine all this information together and put it out. Once again, here's a European model, and here's the GFS model. We just got to wait and see which one plays out, and the main factor is this system here, how fast it moves on towards coast. This is the latest in today from the National Hurricane Center. I also want to mention that once it gets up in this area, it could stall. So that's why we have that greatest chance. I said it could. I didn't say it would. Hopefully it'll just, wherever it goes, whether it pushes a little further inland or goes a little further out, hopefully it'll just push on off and get out of here. But the way it's looking right now, it's still an area of low pressure. It's just located offshore of southeast coast of Florida, and it's continuing, as you have seen, to produce all the shower activity and gusty winds from portions of the southeast and east central Florida area eastward across the northwestern Bahamas and the adjacent Atlantic waters. Now, the satellite images and the surface observations indicate that the low is gradually becoming better defined, as you could see. But the associated shower development is expected. Now, these thunderstorms should remain disorganized for a bit, but continual gradual development is expected, and this system is likely to become a tropical or subtropical depression or storm later today or tonight, while it moves northeastward over the Atlantic waters east of Florida. Now, a lot of places like down in the Keys and around Miami and along some of the coastline portions of Florida, they've received as much as 2 to 3 inches of rain out of this already, but it should be moving up and moving out for you guys, so hang tight. Now, later in the week and early next week, as I just showed you, this is expected to move generally northeastward and then over the western Atlantic near or east the Carolinas. We have to watch it. You know how these things go, folks. Remember, last year Florence was a Category 4. Then it was a Category 1. And I don't like it when they stall. That's a bad thing. It may not, but either way, I've told you what I think we'd get out of it either way. It's not going to be like Florence at all. But it is something everybody needs to watch, because these things can change. Regardless of the development, it's looking like heavy rainfall, gusty winds across portions of east central Florida and the northwestern Bahamas should last through today, and there's going to be very hazardous marine conditions, as you all know, and they're going to spread northward during the next few days. And this hazardous marine weather can cause very dangerous surf and rip currents. Rip current warnings are already out from Virginia all the way down the coast, down to Florida for today. So please be aware of that if you are going to the beach. And if there's not a lifeguard out, don't get in the water. That's what I would suggest for you to do. Now, the Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft is currently, right now, en route to investigate this disturbance. In 2 days and 5 days, we have an 80% chance of this developing. So, I'd say everywhere from down around Wilmington, this portion of South Carolina, right on up through the inner and outer banks of North Carolina, maybe Norfolk, Virginia Beach area, we need to keep our eyes on this. And I'll have another update for you coming up later this evening. So, be safe, my friends. Have a good day, a safe day, a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Click that bell and check off all to ensure you get all the latest in the weather news, forecast, watches, warnings, and any storms that may be coming your way. Peace, love, and kindness to each of you. Thanks for watching.